Hi everyone, my name is Tanner Hugaboom, and today we're going to be going through the SWOT analysis that I've prepared for my chosen company, US Cellular. So to start off here, we're going to go through a company overview. So US Cellular was founded in 1983. They are currently a sister company of TDS, based out of Madison, Wisconsin. Their headquarters are located in Chicago, Illinois. Currently, US Cellular has around 5 million customers. As of 2018, their revenue was $3.96 billion. They have roughly 5,600 associates, and they also have 4 main customer care centers, which can be located in Waukesha, Wisconsin, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Knoxville, Tennessee, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. So to start things off, we're going to go through the competition of US Cellular. 3 of the main competitors would include Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint. The reason why these brands would be competitors of US Cellular is because they are also listed within the top 5 largest wireless telecommunications providers within the United States. US Cellular is currently ranked 5th among the top 5, so they are one of the, or I shouldn't say one of the smallest, but the smallest of the larger companies. And they're actually the smallest by quite a large margin. So by competing with larger companies such as Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint, basically we're trying to remove their customers from their company and basically bring them over to US Cellular. So some of the strengths of US Cellular as a company would include, they are one of the largest U.S. wireless telecom networks within the United States. Again, they are within that top 5, which is AT&T, Sprint, Verizon, and then T-Mobile, which I did not mention before. Again, they have 5 million customers, which I did mention in the overview. In addition to that, they actually have a high customer retention rate. Basically, customers who do come into the company rarely leave or cancel their policy, or I shouldn't say their policy, but their plan with us. Again, they are, I guess, kind of continuing on off of that. They do also have a strong customer satisfaction rating. This can be found through many rewards, or I shouldn't say rewards, but awards that the company does receive for customer satisfaction or customer service. I do know that that US Cellular also sends out surveys via phone call after customers have been on the phone with customer service to kind of find out how exactly their experience was and what can be done to improve upon that. That can continue on into the high brand loyalty. And again, that also does tie back into the high customer retention rate. Basically, again, customers who do come to the company are very loyal and have stuck with us through many years, including billing system updates and stuff like that. They also have US Cellular also has strong advertising across the markets that they do hold service in within the United States. A lot of those can be found through commercials. You don't really see too many billboards or anything like that, but I do know that commercials are definitely a huge advertising piece within the company. And lastly, sponsorships. US Cellular has sponsored many events and sporting teams throughout the year. The Milwaukee Brewers is one of them. The Green Bay Packers has been a recent sponsorship that US Cellular has acquired also. Moving forward from the strengths to the weaknesses, US Cellular, one of the weaknesses is the infrastructure is not positioned well. Basically, this is just comparing itself to US Cellular to its competitors. US Cellular is a smaller carrier, like I mentioned before. They are considered almost like a regional carrier, even though they do have nationwide coverage. Again, that nationwide coverage, though, is actually due to partner agreements with the larger carriers to ensure that their customers do receive service while they are outside of a home network, so you could say. In addition to that, intense competition, again, going back to the Big Five, as we can call them. Basically, having a competition or intense competition from larger companies basically means that there's a limited market share. So it can be very difficult to find yourself or US Cellular finding themselves itching their way or squeezing their way into a market that has already been established by a current provider. Some opportunities that US Cellular can look forward to would include expanding into newer markets. As we mentioned, that again with the limited market share, that can be a very difficult task, but that is always an opportunity that is available. Increasing the use of mobile phones. I know that US Cellular has continued to expand upon their inventory of mobile phones, and that would include Apple devices that have been acquired within the past 5 years. I know that the Google Pixel device is another one that is coming into the company as well. And lastly, further promoting data plans. Many things that customers are doing nowadays include data plans. Again, most of the phones that we have internet plans and then have that ability to access the internet and any apps that would go along with it. So by promoting data plans, that's basically drawing customers in, knowing that they're going to have that internet there for them, and they have the capability of using it anytime that they want. Some threats to the company. First would be the intense competition. Having competition from the other big companies, basically that can reduce business as customers may be drawn to set up a plan or a contract with the other competitors. Rural markets is another threat. Basically, individuals who live in rural markets prefer less expensive plans. That can ultimately hurt the profitability of US Cellular. And lastly, market conditions. If you're in an area where it's unfavorable market conditions, that can affect business as well. An example of that would be when US Cellular expanded their network into Chicago, Illinois, which was already an established area by Verizon and Sprint. Basically, what US Cellular was seeing was for every $3 they were spending, they were only getting $1 in return. Basically meaning that they were just continuously losing money regardless of the type of advertising or plans that were being offered to those customers. So going forward, my recommended strategy for US Cellular would be to further expand their network into northern Wisconsin. As of right now, US Cellular does own the spectrum within the northern part of Wisconsin that can basically be like Green Bay, anything north of like Wausau, Wisconsin, or Oshkosh and Appleton. Once you get further past those, basically you are in an extended area, which is where we have roaming agreements with other competitors. But again, at this time, US Cellular does own that spectrum. So by further expanding that network into those areas, that's not only going to draw customers in, but it's also going to increase revenue. This is also going to be helped by the fact that US Cellular does have a sponsorship with the Green Bay Packers. So by getting that US Cellular name out there and broadcasted at those large sporting events, that's not only, I guess that's basically going to get customers or future customers more interested in trying to figure out what exactly the company is about. Lastly, I have my sources. Feel free to look through them and read a little bit more about the company, and I look forward to doing some further presentations and furthering your knowledge on US Cellular as a whole. Thank you.